After studying this module, you shall be able to 1. Know about the difference in the resources of the center and the states, such that state government have been entrusted with more and larger responsibilities vis-a-vis states, while central government has been assigned more revenue than the states, and therefore there is a need to transfer resources from the center to the states. Different states have differential needs and capacities, and therefore there is a need to treat different states differently while transferring resources to the states. Secondly, identify the imbalance between the financial resources of the center and the states as a basic cause of vertical imbalance between the center and the states. The existence of institution of finance commission to correct this imbalance, horizontal imbalance among different states in terms of difference in area, population, level of economic and infrastructure development, etc. Thirdly, analyze the sources of conflict between the center and states. Formula and criterion adopted by the 12th and the 13th Finance Commission with regard to transfer of resources from center to states, and also division of resources transferred from the center among different states. Let us start with an introduction about the federal structure of India. India has a federal structure in which a clear distinction is made between the functions and sources of revenue of the union and states. However, the residual parts belong to the center. The principle adopted for this classification is that taxes which have an interstate base are levied by the union, while those with a local base are levied by the state. The residuary parts belong to the union. In India, there has always existed vertical imbalance because the central government has been assigned more revenues while the state governments have been entrusted with more and larger responsibilities. Correcting vertical imbalance therefore necessitates transfers from the central government to the state governments taken together. There are 29 states and 7 union territories in India, which differ significantly in area, size of population, income, tax base, forest and mineral wealth, etc. At the same time, there are different capacities and needs of the states. Differential needs and capacities of different states, what we may call horizontal imbalances, need to be corrected while transferring resources from the center to the states. To discuss vertical imbalance, let us start with the responsibility and resources of the center and the states. According to the Constitution, the center has to concern itself with the most generalized features of the Indian economy, such as the defense from foreign aggression, creation and maintenance of banking system, railways and ports, as well as facilities for national economic planning with the regulation and development of large scale industries, exploitation of mineral resources, regulation of foreign trade, etc. On the other hand, the states are concerned with important aspects of the life of the people, such as the maintenance of law and order, the construction and maintenance of irrigation, power, road transport, etc. The development of educational and health facilities, the promotion of primary sector such as agriculture, fisheries, forest, and secondary sector, for example, tiny, small and medium industries. Financial resources of the center and the states. The Constitution provided for different types of financial resources to carry out these responsibilities. The Union is entrusted with the power to tax personal incomes and profits of companies, excise duties and custom duties. In a rapidly developing economy, these are the most productive taxes in the country. In the case of the states, land constitutes an important base of taxation. Apart from the fact that in a densely populated country like India, the volume of land coming under tax remains almost stationary. There is hardly any scope of growth in this source of revenue. Various taxes on commodities and services like sales tax, state excise duties, duties in electricity rates, motor vehicle tax, etc. can be quite productive. Since taxation of industrial and commercial properties has been the preserve of the center, and as a result of economic development, there has been tremendous expansion in the base of industrial and commercial property, income and wealth. Financial resources of the centers have grown tremendously. At the same time, while rapid industrial development boosted central excise duty collection, expansion of imports pushed up custom duty collection. This seems to have given buoyancy to the central revenue, which was not available to any tax head assigned to the states except sales tax. However, recently there has been a significant increase in one source of state revenue, namely registration fee from transfer of immovable property. There has been an enormous expansion of financial powers of the central government after 1951, whose dimensions have progressively increased in relation to the combined resources of all state governments put together. For instance, the current tax revenue of the center have risen from rupees 360 crore in 1950-51 to rupees 65,000 crores in 94-95 and to rupees 11 lakhs 58,906 crores in 2013 and 14 budget. On the other hand, current revenues of the states, excluding transfers from the center, have risen from rupees 200 crores in 1950-51 to rupees 53,400 crores in 1994-95 and rupees 7,63,851 crores in 2013-14 budget. The rate of growth of revenue of the center is much faster as compared to that of the states. But then the center has only limited functions to perform, while the functions of the states are almost unlimited. Now we will discuss how the vertical imbalance can be corrected. Indian Constitution itself is responsible for the existence of a financially strong center and weak states. Before partition, there was a growing consensus in favor of the corporation tax and export duties to be included in the divisible pool. This was the case made out before the Sarkar Committee known as the Expert Committee on Financial Provisions. It was partition which alerted the Constituent Assembly against possible dangers to the unity of India arising from the divisive forces. Its effect is reflected in the strong center theme which runs through the Constitution. The financial provisions of the Constitution clearly reflect this strong center bias. Though the states have been assigned certain taxes which are levied and collected by them, they are also supposed to share in the revenue of certain union taxes, and according to Constitution, there are certain other taxes which are levied and collected by the union, but the proceeds of which wholly go to the states. In addition, the states receive grant in aid of the revenue from the union, which further increase the amount of transfers between the two levels of governments. The transfer of resources from the central government to the states is an essential feature of the present financial system of India. Under the provision of Article 280 of the Constitution, the President is required to appoint a finance commission for the specific purpose of devolution of non-planned revenue resources. The functions of the commission are to make recommendations to the President